So today's video is going to be about filing the action and what's required before you do that, and also some key takeaways to remember. So before you file the action, there's two more documents we have to do. The first is the petition, and the second is the entry of appearance and waiver. So on the petition, what's required by law has been provided to you. If you've ever heard of the aggressive divorce attorney and they go into detail about individuals' specific information or their situation where it's a little bit more detailed than what you would typically think should be provided, well, you're probably right. It's done for marketing. They want to show that they're really going after the spouse, and so they write more than it's necessary. Here in an uncontested divorce, we're not doing that. We're meeting the legal requirements and providing what's necessary. So if you have children, remember that there's an additional law that requires the last 5 years of information. So who lived in the particular place, where was it, and what were the years? We're going back 5 years. That's what the law requires as it is today. Now the entry of appearance, that is saying, as the respondent, I've looked at the petition and please court send any court documents to me at this address. And so with these uncontested divorces, remember, we're giving all this information to our spouse. We're not hiding any of the paperwork. Everything is being shared. That's the whole purpose of staying uncontested. When you file the entry of appearance, you want the court to send them those final documents and not have to then get a copy and then go back to your ex-spouse at that point to give them theirs. And so when you go to file the action, we're finally at that step to get this started. Now you're going to the courthouse to file all the documents that we've completed up to this point. So that's your cover sheet, your certificate of divorce, the petition, the entry of appearance and waiver, the family case data information sheet, all of those that we've spent time doing and discussing. That's what you're going to file when you go to the courthouse. When you get there, expect there to be a court fee. Most counties charge different rates. You'll just have to go there and ask. You can also call ahead and figure out what that cost is to file this action. Once you get there, you'll provide these documents. Remember, one's going to be redacted, the other is not. We don't want to put our socials and date of births and children's names out there in the public, so one will be sealed, the other one will have those redacted like we've discussed it previously. So 3 key takeaways. Remember that you're providing these 2 documents, these 2 copies of documents, that there's a 60-day waiting period. So this is probably one of the things that frustrates most people is they go to file and they think, why can't I just file everything at once and get the judge to sign it that day? Well, Kentucky requires a 60-day waiting period. Now, there's ways around it. Typically that involves attorneys that can get further into the details of that. But as an uncontested divorce where you're filing your own paperwork, we're filing now to start that clock. Now we can start working on the future documents like the settlement agreement and proof by interrogatories and those that we'll discuss here in the future. Now finally, the last takeaway is remember all your signatures need to be notarized. So there will be a block on there. If there's not a block, don't worry about it. But if there's a block, remember you have to have your signatures notarized. Otherwise, the court will not accept these documents. So in our next video, we'll talk about financial disclosures, which is typically one of the more complex situations, one of the more complex documents that you'll have to fill out prior to finalizing your divorce.